Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to look at 5 terrifying cases of demonic possession. Starting at number 5. We have Roland Doe. The Exorcist is one of the most popular Hollywood movies about exorcism. It's said to be inspired by the tale of Roland Doe, the most wicked among the stories of demonic possession. In fact, Roland Doe was the nickname given to him by the Catholic Church to protect the family's privacy. Sometime in the late 1940s, Doe's aunt gave him a Ouija board to use. After his aunt's death, Doe used the Ouija board to contact her, but instead it became a channel for demons to possess him. Strange sounds such as dripping water, unexplained footsteps, and scratching noises gripped their household. Later on, religious icons began to shake and fly off the walls. Roland's body became filled with scratches and strange words that seemed to have been carved into him by invisible claws. Roland spoke in tongues in a deep voice, and he began levitating as his body convulsed in deep pain. These happenings prompted the family to bring in a Catholic priest who performed the exorcism ritual over 30 times. Roland, who became so strong, even injured the priest several times throughout the ritual. Finally, the rite became successful. The entire hospital heard Roland's anguished cries as demons were said to have left his body. A horrid, sulphuric odour hung in the air immediately after. And at number 4, we have Julia. Julia is another case of demonic possession. In 2008, Dr. Richard E. Gallagher, a board-certified psychiatrist and associate professor of clinical psychiatry at New York Medical College, reported the case of a patient with the nickname Julia. Dr. Gallagher himself has reported flying objects, levitation, and her speaking in tongues. Julia was also reported to know details about people with whom she had no previous knowledge of. Here is an excerpt from Dr. Gallagher's statement. Periodically in her presence, Julia would go into a trance state of recurring nature, writes Gallagher. Mentally troubled individuals often dissociate, but Julia's trances were accompanied by an unusual phenomenon. Out of her mouth would come various threats, taunts, and scatological language. Phrases like, "Leave her alone, you idiot," "She's ours," "Leave," "You imbecile priest," or just "leave." The tone of this voice differed markedly from Julia's own, and it varied, sometimes sounding guttural and vaguely masculine, at other points high-pitched. Most of her comments during these trances or at the subsequent exorcism displayed a marked contempt for anything religious or sacred. Julia's case is unique because it is very rare that a psychiatrist acknowledges demonic possession instead of attributing the symptoms to mental illness. Moving on to number 3 in our list, Michael Taylor. Michael Taylor and his wife Christine were residents of a small town called Ossett in Great Britain. They were traditional and very religious. They were even part of a Christian prayer group led by a certain Mary Robinson. Sometime in 1974, Taylor's wife Christine accused Michael and Mary of having an affair, which both denied. Michael Taylor then began shouting obscenities and began acting bizarrely. Witnesses state that he seemed to be possessed by evil spirits. After several months of his crazy bizarre behaviour, Taylor finally agreed to consult with a priest who performed exorcism rites. The exorcism rites lasted more than 24 hours, and the priests claimed to have removed around 40 demons from Taylor. However, before Taylor left, he was warned that he still had a demonic murderer in his body, and the priests were right. As soon as Taylor came home, he then slaughtered his wife and their dog. After the gruesome murder, he roamed the streets covered in blood. The court, however, pleaded him not guilty due to insanity. Moving on to number 2, we have Clara Germana Selly. Clara Germana Selly, who studied at Michael's mission in Natal, South Africa, was a 16-year-old child. Selly was believed to have made a pact with Satan. Several days later, Selly started behaving eerily. She was revolted with religious artifacts like crucifixes. Furthermore, she suddenly became fluent in many languages, even if she had no previous knowledge of them. The sisters took care of Selly, who reported about her clairvoyance and about other people's thoughts in their past history as well. She was also said to produce scary animal-like sounds and could levitate up to 5 feet in the air. Because of her strange behaviour, 2 priests were called upon to perform the exorcism. Celia then tried to choke one of the priests with his stool. A crowd of over more than 170 people was said to have seen her levitate as the priest read Bible passages. After 2 days, the rites of the exorcism successfully drove the dark spirits from her body. And finally, at number 1 on our list, we have Anneliese Michael. Anneliese was described as an intelligent, compassionate, kind, polite and deeply religious girl. She was very knowledgeable of the Catholic faith, which she quietly and faithfully put into practice. She once had a normal and happy life, a teen pursuing all the normal things just like any other young lady does. But in 1969, when Anneliese was 17, things started to change. She began experiencing epileptic seizures and regular convulsions. Medical doctors gave her a diagnosis of strong psychosis and temporal lobe epilepsy and treated her at a psychiatric hospital. However, Anneliese's treatment in the mental facility did not improve her health, instead it worsened her depression. By the time she was in her 20s, she had become intolerant of various religious objects such as the crucifix. Reports said that her severe depression led to hallucinations such as seeing demons and hearing voices that tell her she was damned and would rot in hell. Despite medications and treatment, her condition worsened and she became suicidal, convincing her family to believe that she may have been possessed by demons. Because her long-term treatment didn't make her better, Anneliese's parents sought religious help and appealed to the Catholic priest for an exorcism, but the priest declined and recommended the continuation of medical treatment. However, after much hesitation, the priest decided to help them after getting permission from the bishop, and he performed the secret exorcism rites on Anneliese for 10 months. Reports that say in our episodes she would make demonic voices and faces, tear her clothes apart, and eat coal and lick her own urine. It is said that the demons lurking inside the girl identified themselves as Lucifer, Cain, Judas Iscariot, Nero and Hitler. Later Anneliese began talking of dying as a martyr and refused to eat towards the end. On July 1st, 1976, at age 23, Anneliese Michael died of extreme dehydration and starvation after 67 exorcisms. Though she passed away, the priest claimed that she was finally freed from the demons possessing her because of the exorcism just before her death. Anyways guys, that's the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed and I'll catch you in the next one.